What's up, guys? Welcome. So here we are closing out 2023, about to start the new year 2024. So I thought it would be a good time to talk about New Year's resolutions and life goals. I know for a lot of us this time of year, we start to get reflective about where we've been and where we're going and what are our goals and are we going in the right direction in life? Are we achieving the things we want to achieve? And those are the type of things I usually think about around this time of year. And I do goal setting for myself. So that's what I wanted to talk about in today's video, our New Year's resolutions. So I typically don't do New Year's resolutions per se. I do more like goals, like kind of big picture, maybe sometimes more specific goals, but it's not really a resolution per se, like I'm going to start doing XYZ, or I'm going to give up sugar, or I'm going to give up coffee, or whatever it is. It's kind of really, like I said, like a reflecting look back on where am I, what do I want to change, what do I want to do more of. I just was listening to a podcast. I'm listening lately to the TJ and Amy podcast, Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. They were broadcasters, they were anchors on Good Morning America. A lot of people know their story about what happened to them over the past year, so they're doing a podcast now together. Anyway, one of the things they were talking about is New Year's resolutions, and TJ was like, well, I don't really like get New Year's resolutions. You know, like if you're gonna decide like, hey, I want to be a better person, why would you not just start it today? Why do you have to wait for a certain day? So I was listening to that and I kind of get where he was coming from, but I think of New Year's resolutions a little bit differently. I don't look at it like you're saying, hey, on January 1st, I'm going to start exercise, or I'm going to start a diet. Like, why not start it today? You know, he's right. I kind of look at it like, if I'm already eating well, or I'm already on a, whatever you call diet, whatever I'm doing, how can I, in the next year, take that to the next level? That's how I look at it. It's not really like a life-altering change or something I'm not doing now that I want to start doing and I'm just arbitrarily deciding to start it on January 1st. It's more like, to me, finding these goals are things about my life now that I want to work on in the next year. So how do I arrive at figuring out what my goals are? Usually my goals come from two places. So either something about my life I don't like that I want to change or go in a different direction, or something about my life that I already like and I kind of want to take it up a notch or take it to the next level and find a way to expand on that. So I set myself kind of a list of goals, and I've been doing this every year, and I have them all written down from 2009, and I'm not going to share them because it's like so embarrassing and personal and cringy, but this is like my notebook pages that I've saved over the years, and they literally go back to 2009, and I do this every year. I write down, usually it's about 6 or 7 things, and it says Goals Life Plan 2009, and then in the following year, they start becoming 2 pages, and I have them like stapled together. This is so nerdy, right? So it will say Goals Life Plan 2010. Now the first page is a recap of the previous year. So I go back in 2010, I look back at what I said I wanted to do for 2009, and I kind of recap, like, did I do it? And that helps inform what my goals are going to be for the next year. So I know this is like super nerdy, but I like doing this, and I feel like New Year's and a new year just kind of gives like a milestone in life to kind of look at, hey, where is my life going? Am I meeting my goals? Am I remembering the things that I said were important to me? That type of thing. So, and just to kind of drill it down a little further, I do have like certain areas and buckets and like kind of categories that I try to touch on when I actually write out these goals. Now, again, to back up, I know this is super nerdy, and I am a planner type of person. I like thinking about these kind of things. I like thinking about my future and where I want to be. And even when I was younger, I always thought like, okay, you know, I was one of those people that was like, what's my 5-year plan? And like, where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be in 10 years? And I like this as kind of a touch point for myself to kind of check in with myself. Like, am I going where I said I wanted to go, you know? So that's basically why I do this. And I have fun with this. I like this. This is fun for me. It's not a chore. This is actually like cool and something I look forward to doing. So some of like the bucket categories, and this is a list I actually found online from like a planner blog or planner website, is there's different areas of my life that I want to think about and touch on, right? So these could be social, family, physical, spiritual, financial, and career. Not necessarily in that order, that's just what I happen to write down. So to jump back, like, and I haven't looked at this in a long time. I don't go back and read my old ones because, like I said, they're so cringy and embarrassing sometimes. The things I said. It's very personal. But, you know, yeah, so family was one. Career definitely was another one. Financial. You know, I always wanted to think about things like, where is my career going? So, and I always wanted to think about things like, how can I increase my income? How can I do better at work? Once I started to get older, it started to be more about like, am I planning for my retirement? Am I putting enough in my 401k? Like really like nuts and bolts kind of things like that. So, yeah, saving for house projects, financial vacations, you know, all of that kind of ties up together. House goals. Once I got a house, I started having goals surrounding my house, like what I wanted to fix up, what I wanted to redecorate. So these are some of the things that I will put on my goals list. Again, I'm looking at some of my older ones here. They are kind of funny to look back on. Some of these older ones, like from 2009 through 2010, they're like parenting goals, like things I really wanted to consciously and intentionally think about with regard to my parenting, and like how I wanted to raise them and what kind of values that were important to me in teaching them and that type of thing. Health, fitness, taking care of myself. I see that a lot recurring on here. Again, some of this is really like, you know, kind of cringy, embarrassing, like, you know, self-helpy, be the best self I can be type of stuff. But these type of affirmations and reminders to me are important to me. I love inspirational quotes. I write them in my planner. I listen to inspirational podcasts and self-help things a lot because I like these kind of messages. I find it helpful and it keeps me on track. It's very easy to get like into your negative thoughts and your depressing thoughts and like, why aren't I achieving things in life, and comparing yourself to other people. So these type of like motivational things I feel like really help me. I do believe in like manifesting positive thoughts. Another cool quote I heard recently while I was listening to another podcast, I listened to the Dave Ramsey show, which is like a financial podcast, and I think it was Jade Warshaw that said, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Meaning, if you believe I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna be terrible at that, then you will be. But if you believe that's gonna work out great, I'm gonna be good at this, I got this, I can handle it, then you will. And I believe in that kind of positive thinking. So I think writing this type of thing down, especially year over year, looking back and being like, hey, where did I stand on that? Did I achieve what I said I wanted to? And then kind of reminding yourself, hey, maybe I didn't get to that goal this year. Let's put that on this year's goal and make it a goal for next year now. So yeah, when I started this in 2009, 2010, I was still married. And then in 2012, 2013 is when I got divorced. So then I started having goals about like just keeping a roof over my head and stuff like that. And then career goals and financial goals obviously became a lot more important. And I really had to step up my career, and I really had to figure out how to increase my income. So I see those type of goals kind of ramped up in that time. Also, relationship, you know, after I got divorced, part of my goals was getting in another relationship. I wanted to meet somebody new. I was hoping I was going to date someone. So that's kind of funny to look back on now because I did not. In the early years after I first got divorced, I didn't really, I was going to say I didn't really date that much. I was on like a lot of online dating apps, and I went on like a lot of first dates, second dates, but my priorities at that time, my kids were really young when I got divorced. My priorities at that time were really just about being present with my kids and doing things with them on the weekends that I had them. We had that typical divorce visitation schedule where they went with my ex-husband every other weekend. So the weekends they were home with me, my time was with them, and I was volunteering for PTA and other volunteer opportunities I was taking part of. And going to the track meets and going to the basketball games and going to the school plays. So I didn't really prioritize dating, and it just wasn't something I wanted to spend a lot of time on. Yeah, another one I see on here is like when I wanted to get a new car. I knew it was time for a new vehicle upgrade. Vacation stuff I have on here, I mentioned that already. I think about vacation plans every year. I always kind of map out like where I want to go on vacation and like when we're going to do that and what monies and resources are going to be put towards that. Is it a flying vacation? Is it a driving vacation? Like I really map this all out because we talk about it a lot as a family. Like we have a lot of places we want to go. We want to go to this city, we want to go to that city, we want to go to Disney World, we want to go on a cruise. And, we can't do like 4 or 5 vacations in one year. So I do have to kind of think about mapping them out. Like, okay, this year we'll do, a beach house vacation. And then the following year we'll do something else, or a theme park vacation, or a city vacation like Washington, D.C. or something like that. So I do map that kind of thing out also. Oh yeah, a place to live. See, at one point I thought I was going to leave this house and get a different house, and that was one of my goals. I wanted a place to live. So this house that I live in now started out as a rental house. So when I first got divorced, I moved into a condo, and I realized right away the condo was not going to work for my family. So I wanted a rental house, like a house, and I found this one. But this I thought was not going to be my final stop. I wanted to buy eventually another house, a better house, and get out of this house. And then the owners of this house that I was renting from decided it was time for them to sell. The market conditions were right for them. So I ended up just buying this house from them because at the time that happened, it just worked out to be a better situation for me to stay put here. And I ended up buying the house from them. And I'm so glad that I did, actually, because I bought this house at such a great time. I don't know what my goals are right now at all for where I'm going to live. So I wish I knew, but that's something I still have to think about more. I still have one daughter in high school, and once she graduates and I don't need to stay in the town I'm in for the schools anymore, I can pretty much go wherever I want. And I don't know yet if I'm going to leave here or stay here. So that is not going to be on my list of goals for this year because I just don't know the answer to it yet, but it's something I'm going to still think about for a while longer. Yeah, money, financial stuff is on here a lot. When I still had debt and things to pay off, I don't anymore because I did the Dave Ramsey plan, and I don't have that anymore. So that was a goal that I actually solved and achieved. That's great. A lot of home decorating, furniture things, like different things I want for my house. So there is no thing too granular to be on here and no thing too broad. It's really just a wide spectrum of, my visions for what I want. Okay, now I'm on 2016. Again, kids, parenting stuff, job, career, home decorating, furniture, lifestyle type stuff. Vacations, yeah, so it does repeat from year to year, but like I said in the beginning, it's not always about starting something new. It's when I think about my goals, it's something I already am doing, something I already have incorporated in my life, and like, well, how do I want to take that to the next level, or what do I want to do with that this year? Just a couple of years ago, I started running. I never ran before my whole life. Well, not my whole life. I did track when I was in high school and junior high, but I wasn't a runner. I was always an aerobics person. I loved working out. I did like recumbent bikes. I did aerobics classes. I did stair steppers. I did all that kind of aerobic stuff in gyms, but I never ran. So I just started running, and now I have goals that I can attach to running, which is really fun. I set a goal for myself for this year, for 2023, that I wanted to run 200 miles for the whole year, and I wanted to do 3 5Ks, like sign up for 3 5K races. And I exceeded that. I don't know how many miles I've run to date, but the last time I checked it, which was in November, I was like 220 or 230, I think. So I'm coming in over that goal for the year, and I've already done 4 5Ks for this year. So I don't really put like weight and stuff like that as a goal because that's just not something I need to be obsessing about, and like, it's more like health and fitness goals. And, you know, I've been through cancer, so my health goals are a little different. It's just, you know, staying alive. Okay, now I'm up to 2017, 2018. More income, financial again, home decor, lifestyle. I have dating on here again. Sometimes I think I want to date, and other times I don't. Right now, I'm in a phase where I don't want to at all. Vacations. Oh, here's a good one. Now, this wasn't on a lot of my earlier ones, but now since 2017, 2018, I'm seeing decluttering on here a lot as a goal. So I think once I bought this house, decluttering started to become more of something I wanted to focus on. And that's a goal every year, is decluttering, taking care of my basement. I've mentioned this before in videos, but this house is a tiny, tiny little house. I don't have a lot of storage. I don't have a lot of space. Staying on top of clutter is actually really important. And I try to make that a goal. Like, I want to do decluttering. This year, I'm actually going to be doing a habit tracker in my planner for decluttering because I really need to get a handle on it. So I don't always set myself like actual metrics for these goals. Like, I just write something on here like decluttering, and like at the end of the year, like, how did I achieve that, you know? But this year I'm actually doing like metrics behind my decluttering goal so I can bring this nerdiness level like even higher. Taking the nerdiness level like just through the roof here on this. Okay, so now that I've like had a little fun going through these and looking back on all of the past, what, 11, 12 years of goals and what I said I wanted to do, I'm going to start putting together my goals now for 2023. So the first thing I have on here is vacation. So this is just thinking about like, where do we want to go on vacation this year? So we do a lot of Disney vacations, but this is going to be an off year for us for Disney where we're not going. So I think I'm going to have for a goal Washington, D.C. trip, which I've been meaning to do for a really long time, and then another beach house vacation. So we, in previous years, have done beach house rentals in our area. I live near the Cape. So we do that, and I'm going to put that on my goals. For job things, I'm kind of new in my position, so I think for job goals, I'm just going to put just getting up to speed and being more competent in my role, and then wanting to take on some additional responsibility and leadership positions like within my department, you know? So there's always those opportunities to like lead an initiative or run a training group or something like that. So I think I'm going to put that as one of my goals. I've been at the same company for almost 2 years, but I just started a new position within that company in September. So right now I'm still just kind of getting up to speed and like basically, I don't know if you would call it onboarding because I already work for the company, but learning that role. So once I start to get more core competency in that, then I want to start taking that to the next level. The other cool thing about this year is I now have this YouTube channel, so I can make that a goal and like what I want to achieve as far as getting more subscribers, what kind of content I want to do. So that's pretty exciting to have that as a goal, because this has been really fun doing this. I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I just decided over the summer to start a YouTube channel. I just thought it would be fun. It's something I thought about doing for like over a year, I think. And then one day I was just like, hey, I'm just going to try to learn it. I had to learn how to do video editing was really like my obstacle. So I learned that and I did it, and this has been kind of cool, like coming up with ideas of videos and like having new subscribers and you guys watching is just awesome. Yeah, so exercise and fitness goals. So this year I said I wanted to do 200 miles and 3 5Ks. So I don't know what's realistic for a mile goal for next year. Maybe, I don't know if I'm going to say 300. I think that might be too much. But maybe 250. I'm going to think about that. I mean, I don't know. I'm doing a 10K this year, so that's like how I'm ramping that up. Instead of doing just only 5Ks, I actually signed up for a 10K. And I'll probably do a couple 5Ks also. And then like financial, money, whatever. probably thinking about like my retirement goals and increasing my 401k. Right now, whatever, the percentage I'm electing into my 401k, wanting to increase that, and then also start maybe doing a Roth IRA, which I don't have right now. So just kind of diversifying and like increasing that. And again, like I said, just whatever I'm doing now, just kind of ramping it up and taking it to the next level. As I'm getting older, retirement is starting to loom, and I want to make sure I'm giving that the proper attention. And then again, I'm going to put my basement / decluttering goal on here. Mainly the basement, but the whole house really, decluttering is like everywhere, but I always have this habit in my house of like when things get too cluttery up here, I just put it in the basement, and the basement is starting to run out of room now. And when you buy a few Rubbermaid bins and then you're like, let me get a few more and let me get a few more, and like no more bins. Like it's time for things to exit this house. So the decision on like what to save for decluttering versus what to get rid of is tough. And when my kids are older now, and we have all these like little kid things, and it's like, oh, the memories, and I want to save them, but I think I have to kind of like tighten the reins on my process for doing that. And actually there's a really great YouTube channel out there for decluttering, and I will link to that in the description. She is called Minimal Mom, and she is so great. All of her YouTube channel is about decluttering and home organization, and it's very inspirational. She has a lot of really good tips and rationale for decluttering and kind of minimizing clutter in your house, how to live on less, with less, that type of thing. How a lot of the ways that we think we're organizing and decluttering are not really productive, and like some better methods and some better thought processes on how to get rid of the things that we don't need in our life. It's a really great channel. I've gotten a lot out of it. So then the last thing I have on here is a reading goal and a book goal. And I've done this in the past where I set myself a reading goal. I used to get a lot of magazine subscriptions, and I just kind of like didn't really read the magazines, and the magazines would pile up, and I would be like, oh, I don't want to throw that away because I might want to go back and read that. And I ended up having like, this is also embarrassing, but I had like 2 years worth of magazines to go back and read. So which I ended up having to like cut the cord on that and admit to myself that I was never going to read them, and I got rid of them. But I do have a lot of books that I want to read, and that's another habit tracker that I'm going to be doing in my planner this year, is a reading goal. And I'm actually attaching goals to reading books, reading magazines, and that type of thing. So so that doesn't just get away from me. We all have this habit of kind of like watching TV a lot and watching our phones a lot, but I want to like put the phone down, turn the TV off, and read a book. So I'm setting that as a goal for myself. So those are some of the things I'm going to be noting as my goals as I go into 2024 and reflecting back on what I did during 2023 in those areas. Tell me in the comments, what are you looking forward to for 2024, and what kind of goals are you setting for yourself? Do you have anything on your wish list that you want to do in 2024? Are you proud of a super great accomplishment you had in 2023? Let me know. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you like these videos, please like, please subscribe. I hope everyone has a really safe and happy New Year's, and I'll see you guys next year. Happy 2024. Bye.